Jay here for Stretford Paddock. This is the Paper Talk. As you can see, I'm outside Old Trafford as usual. It's pretty chilly, but I've just walked from the tram station, so I'm a bit warm. That's why my parker's not done up. On the United news front, United have been linked with a wonder kid, or wunderkind as they call him, from Sporting Lisbon. United, it's been reported here, it's in the Mirror, it's in the Metro, it's in a lot of papers to be fair, that United have agreed a first refusal deal with Sporting Lisbon to sign wonder kid Louis Gomes for a fee of £14 million. The 16-year-old signed his first contract with the club early this month, but he's already been linked with an exit to one of Europe's elite clubs. And he's been compared to Portuguese legend Luis Figo, so no pressure there on the kid. He's already linked with United and being compared to Figo. We've got this sort of relationship with Sporting. I don't know why. We never get any decent players from them, because obviously we've signed Cristiano Ronaldo, Nani, Bruno Fernandes. So there's a decent relationship. We've got this first refusal on him, so we'll have to wait and see. One for the future, obviously, but this seems to be the new modus operandi for Manchester United. I know Edinson Cavani was different, but you look at the likes of some of the players that we've bought in, Amad Diallo, Facundo Palestre, if I'm getting that pronunciation right. There seems to be, even when you look at someone like Hannibal, who obviously we paid 10 million for, you know, when we're buying these youngsters now, it seems to be the new policy for Manchester United to look at sort of teenagers, 16, 17, 18-year-olds, get them here, get a deal done early, and hopefully build for the future. Now listen, we all want to see big signings, we all want to see the big money marquee signings, but there's nothing wrong with planning for the future and trying to get these young kids, when you can, get them in here, get them signed, get a sort of pre-contract agreement or whatever you can do, and look towards sort of building a team for the next 3 or 4 years. I know it's important for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to have a team now, and we want results now. That's, you know, that goes without saying. He can't just sort of plan for 3 or 4 years, because he does that whilst neglecting the team now. He's not going to be here in 3 or 4 years, but we do have to plan for the future. So one to keep an eye on. I'm not going to pretend I know a lot about him. I don't. I just think it's a positive thing that Manchester United are obviously being linked with and monitoring some of the sort of the best young talent across Europe. Another story doing the rounds is a Jadon Sancho story, because, well, we've not had one for ages, have we? I don't know if you've heard about Jadon Sancho, this lad who plays for Dortmund. United were vaguely linked with him during the summer. Yeah, just when you thought we'd had enough of those stories, there's more. Because, I mean, this is sort of being twisted and put into the press as, you know, United have been handed a boost in their hopes to sign Jadon Sancho, because obviously we didn't get him. We're still linked with him. There's talk that we're going to go back in for him in the summer. No doubt even when January transfer window comes up, there'll be reports that he's going to come in January. But it looks like next summer may be the time that United go back in for him. If you've been sort of living in a cave somewhere or not had access to any form of communication or the internet, then I'll briefly go over what happened. Dortmund wanted £108 million, around €120 million for Jadon Sancho. They set a deadline of around the 10th of August. That deadline came and went. United thought, we'll play a little bit of brinkmanship, wait till towards the end of the deadline. Dortmund will lower the fee. They didn't. United didn't pay the fee. Jadon Sancho didn't come to Old Trafford. Now, the Dortmund CEO, Hans-Joachim Watzke, says that the club's position on Jadon Sancho, meaning Manchester United, was misjudged, but he's left the door open. He says they misjudged the situation. We had a clear line, and we will continue to do so next summer. In this industry, you can never say that a player is completely unsellable. So that's what everyone's sort of holding on to there. Some of the press saying, well, no player's completely unsellable. That means that he can still go to United. Listen, I fully expect the Jadon Sancho saga to continue next summer. My only worry is that other clubs may have got the money together, may be interested in him. If he has another storming season in Germany like the one he had last season, then the likes of maybe Chelsea, maybe Real Madrid, maybe Barcelona will start looking at him and going, you know what, we'll have a bit of that as well. So we'll wait and see what happens with that. Basically, the Dortmund CEO saying that no player is, you know, unsellable. We know that Dortmund have sold players in the past, and we fully expect Jadon Sancho to become, you know, part of maybe a bidding war, or at least clubs showing interest in him in the summer. And you think that if the clubs are willing to spend that money, especially with a year less on his contract, then they'll be able to get him. Whether that's Manchester United, we'll have to wait and see. I hope it is. I still want Jadon Sancho to come here, but 12 months or whatever it is a long time in football. So again, you know, just want to keep your eye on him if you're not already bored to tears with the Jadon Sancho rumours. I'm sure many of you are. Ahead of the Paris game, United obviously playing Paris Saint-Germain in the Champions League on Tuesday night, away of course. Edinson Cavani's been in training now. He wasn't eligible for the Newcastle game because United, in their infinite wisdom, signed him too late and he had to go in quarantine, so we couldn't play him, and we got away with it because we didn't really need him. We won comfortably 4-1, but he is available for the game in Paris, and he's been training. There's pictures of him doing the rounds yesterday, on Sunday, in training, and there's a few reports on that, the fact that he could make his debut for United against his old club. Seems tailor-made, doesn't it? It seems like a fairy tale story that he's going to make his debut against Paris, his old club, and score loads of goals and help us win, hopefully. But yeah, he's been training, 33 years old. Everyone's looking forward to seeing him, obviously. He's quarantined now, so as I said, he missed that game. But pictures of him training, looks good. I think whether you wanted Edinson Cavani or not, and to be honest with you, he wasn't exactly top of my list. When we were first linked with him, I was a little bit like, really? Cavani, free agent for a reason? Is he the sort of player we should be going for? But you can understand why United have got him. Yes, he's 33-year-old, but he's, with that comes experience. He scored loads of goals. I think he's the fourth highest scorer over the past 10 years. Now, you may look at that and go, well, a lot of those goals were years ago, but the last couple of years, last season wasn't his best. But over the last few years, he's still been banging in the goals. Brings out something different. Not an old-fashioned centre-forward in the sort of... When we say that, we mean like a big, sort of strong centre-forward who's always getting his head on things. He is good in the air, but he also likes to drop deep. We know he can play on the left, he can play on the right. So he's, he's a player that can bring a lot to this Manchester United team and also brings something different. We know how Marcus Rashford plays. We know how Anthony Martial plays. And we know Mason Greenwood, how he plays. Edinson Cavani isn't like those players. He's different. So it gives you that option. So looking forward to seeing him, and hopefully we'll see him make his debut, like I said, on Tuesday night. Now, also on that sort of Cavani vein, Diego Forlan, who's played with him for Uruguay, says that he's been talking, I think this is quoted, this is on United Report on their Twitter, quoted from the South China Morning Post. He says, Edinson is still a great player. I've not seen any decline in him yet. I think he's top signing for United, just like Zlatan was. He's that type of player. He'll lead by example, by how he trains, how he plays. He'll be a positive influence for the young players. That was what... I think those quotes are recent, but I think those from a few days ago, actually, what Forlan was saying about Cavani. Yeah, I've heard that a few times. We spoke to, I think it was James Cooper the other day, who was saying that, there's a real positive feel about Cavani and his approach and the way he plays and the way he trains. He's sort of he's a good person to be around for the younger players, and hopefully the likes of Mason and Marcus and even Anthony can learn from him, because I'm saying it like they're my mates, Mason, Anthony, Marcus, like I know him. They can learn from him because of that experience he's got. So we'll keep it positive for the time being, anyway. Also on sort of quotes and players. There's a great interview in The Athletic with Morgan Schneiderlin, Andy Mitten, I think it is, who went and spoke to Morgan Schneiderlin, and he was talking about his time here at Old Trafford. Now, when Morgan Schneiderlin arrived from Southampton, I was a big fan of him. I saw him at Southampton. I thought he's exactly what we need in our midfield. And his time at United was pretty poor, if I'm being honest. And he was one of those players that I remember at the time, I was always sticking up for him on Twitter, and eventually I just got fed up of defending him. He had the odd good game, but by and large, it wasn't great. Now, he's been speaking about his time here, and he said that Van Gaal wanted me to, but we had less connection on the phone, so I signed more for the football club, Manchester United, than the manager. So he's saying that it was the fact of signing for Manchester United that brought him here, not playing for Louis Van Gaal. We were told, when you have the ball, you have to do this, instead of playing with my gut, like I'd done with Pochettino and Koeman. God, don't start mentioning Pochettino, Morgan. Everyone will be hankering for him to come here. The worst thing for a football player is when you think too much. I started to think, the manager wants me to do this. So he's talking about how Louis Van Gaal was very sort of regimented and strict in how he had the team set up, and there wasn't much freedom. Now, one of the really sort of interesting quotes in this interview that The Athletic have got, and you should check it out, is that he talks about the team sort of losing confidence and playing under Van Gaal, and he says the players that weren't sort of bothered or didn't lose any confidence were Marcus Rashford and Anthony Martial, and he said they played with freedom, and because Martial couldn't understand what the manager was telling him, he just played with freedom anyway. I wish that was me, just agreeing with everything the manager said. So he's saying that Anthony Martial basically didn't have a clue what Louis Van Gaal was on about and just did his own thing, and Marcus Rashford, who made his debut under Van Gaal, of course, and was only a youngster, he also had that freedom and just sort of, again, did his own thing, which is sort of, it's pretty amusing, but it's also quite scary that you've got, a manager at Manchester United who his players aren't really listening to him because they don't know what he's on about. Hopefully that's not the case anymore. So those are the main stories here for Manchester United doing the rounds. Obviously, we've got the game coming up tomorrow night, a big game against Paris, where Ole Gunnar Solskjaer more or less got the manager's job on a permanent basis after that fantastic result there last season. We'll have to wait and see whether United can get another result like that. Maybe we can take a little bit of confidence off the Newcastle game. I know Newcastle and Paris Saint-Germain are two completely different teams, so let's not get too carried away there. But the likes of Cavani, Anthony Martial coming back into the team. Hopefully we'll see Pogba, Bruno and Donny van der Beek, who had a great cameo at St James's, coming into the team as well. So we'll have the watch along for that. We'll have the preview. We'll have all the fan cams after the game as well. Later on today, we'll have Howson's Brew. We'll also have all the usual stuff this week. We'll have the Tier 1 Transfer podcast. We'll have Joe's Late Night Live. We'll have the Devils podcast. We'll have all that stuff. So make sure that you are watching Stretford Paddock. Make sure you are subscribing if you're not doing already. And hit that like button as well. Let's get some likes on these videos. It's starting to get a little bit warmer, I think. So hopefully the sun will come out. I've been Jay. This has been The Paper Talk. Thanks for watching.